And we are live on the internet. I am, of course, setting this up still because that's just who we are as a podcast. We do things on the fly as we can do it. Hello for everyone waiting in the chat. I already see you there interacting. Thank you so much. We're going to try our best to get through this as
Oh, we are really not in place.
No, we are not. We are definitely not. And that's why I'm making sure that we are as close to it as we possibly can be. And then working our way through it. Okay. That's almost about as much as I'll do. I think I did a decent. The only thing I really care about is the audio. Is the audio working?
Need
Sounds like it to me.
this corner instead. Can't hear you, Fee.
Fee, can you say something?
It is a minute off.
It's about a minute off, but it's fine.
Oh, the stream?
Mm.
I thought that was just me.
No.
Okay. Oh, I didn't mean you had to move me. I just meant like instead of you cropped this side, so it was like my bed and desk and shit. If you could crop it this
Mario,
way.
I'd actually prefer if you move me like that way.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
I'd prefer if you put me where Sly is and Sly where Fee is and Fee where you are.
No, I'm just asking to be taken off screen. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's exactly where I wanted it to be.
Just put a picture of Fema up where Fee is.
Mm-hmm.
Actually center my chair for once. You're muted.
Oh my god. Why? Okay. All right. Are you ready? Because I'm ready to talk
Okay,
about whatever
sure.
the fuck we're going to talk about. Because hello and welcome to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 99.5? Question mark San Diego. I'm your host, Mario Rivera. Of course, joined by my lovely fellow Point in Progress companions. Starting, of course, with Sly. How are you doing?
Oh my god, you got me red as I was trying to pull up fucking WNBA scores. I'm doing great.
Keep you on your toes.
It's a close game.
Oh, shit.
You are keeping me on my toes, and you're falling over, knocking things over. Yeah, I'm doing great. Lots of fun things that happened this week. Lots of not fun things that happened this week. So we're here to talk about it all. Good, bad, ugly. It's gonna be a blast.
Well, as you were speaking, as I was introducing you, water spilled directly onto this
Onto your
laptop. So I'm
Damn.
doing my best
Incredible.
to dab
The laptop that is currently running this entire stream.
entire stream. So
Yep.
I am just dabbing all these little bubbles away. Anyways, the guy who should be dabbing because he's the man of the hour, the one,
dabbing right
the
now.
only Frank. How you doing, Frank?
Hello. I've been chilling. It's been a very eventful week for me.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it during the podcast.
Looking forward to that. Fee, who's been working every day, nonstop, without pay. How you doing, Fee? What's going on?
Yeah, they're
A
not.
little
Her
pay.
job's not gonna pay her.
I'm doing well. Been busy. Been streaming. Been podcasting. Been reacting. Been making art. Been doing all the stuff. So it's been a busy time for me. That is for sure.
Would you say you've been a busy bone?
Busy Bee?
Yeah, like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Bone Thugs and Harmony is? Shit, I gotta put you on.
Do it up.
It's a rap group from like technically still active, right? I think. Mario, you're the only one I would know who listened to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
This is a rap group. Yeah. Bone Thugs and
I think they're
Harmony.
still active.
Active, not like, I would say like any like major person from the 90s when they were hip hop.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I think they just regurgitate the same songs nowadays. You know who exactly who I'm talking about. Fee, you just don't remember the video.
Yeah.
It's the one Zach Fox. Remember, he made a beat out of it. He just put numbers on it.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the members of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Busy Bone, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Right?
Busy Bone and the other Bones, whatever their names were. I forgot.
Busy as bones and bees over here.
I just know primarily, obviously, for Crossroads. Crossroads is like the big breakout hit. It'll be the song that plays at like quinceañeras, also funerals.
Yeah.
Just saying goodbye to your homies. So
Yeah. Mexican gangster rap or Mexican stoner rap.
yes, even though I think every member of Bone Thugs and Harmony is in fact black.
Sounds like a white guy.
Is in fact
Is
black.
he?
So definitely shout out to all you rap heads out there that bang the one song. But this of course is going to be episode 99.5. Hi Carlos in the chat. Yes, we were going to do episode 100 today, but of course scheduling permitted, Harv, who is one of our pillars here, could not make it, and so therefore we're just going to have to move all of our announcements to next week, which we have confirmed with him that everyone
Kidnapped him in Boston.
yes, he got kidnapped in
What's
Boston. Damn FEMA.
You know what's hilarious? Every time we mentioned episode 100 up to this point, other than the Summer Games Fest stuff, I was just like, yeah, just keep in mind it could get delayed. I'm like, yeah.
See,
I knew it was gonna happen in some way, but like
it literally got delayed at the tail, we were about to hit live, and I'm like, wait, Harv's missing. What's going on? But that's fine because all the things that we are going to announce can wait the week, so it's totally fine. You're just gonna have to tune in next week when things start to get crazy. But
Things pop off.
yeah,
We have a great list, y'all.
there's some cool stuff happening in the future, so it
Very cool stuff.
it will be happening shortly. But we're all succumbing to after Summer Games Fest fatigue of dealing with all these announcements, lack thereof, or straight up just not paying attention to the weekend and just having a good nap. I respect it. I did want to, of course, there are some people here that were not joining us throughout the different events, so I would love to reach and hear their opinion if they have seen anything. But I just want to get sort of into it. First person I am going to switch it off to is Sly. You've participated in everything. You watched every conference. You watched every single piece of content that there is on the net. What is your perspective on everything? That is a lie. You did not.
My perspective. No, I was just gonna go with it. My perspective is I have seen 2 pieces of content related to Summer Games Fest. I saw the really cute pictures of Danny and Rihanna at the Xbox meetup.
Okay.
They were great. And I saw a selfie from Chloe Naylor was there as well. I saw her pictures. That's about it. So I was supposed to be on for Devolver, I think, and I worked that morning, and I had a massive flare up. And I got home and I could not get out of bed for 3 days straight. I was supposed to work the next day. I did have to use the sick day. It's fine. I'm fine. We're back to 80% of normal, which is like still not great, but like it's fine. Again,
It's
I'm
passable.
fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I didn't get out of bed for a couple days, and I did not have the ability to pay attention to anything important. So I laid in bed and read a lot of fan fiction, and I don't remember any of it, but I know that I did it. So that's my thoughts on Summer Games Fest this year. Lots of great announcements. I can't believe they didn't announce insert whatever you wanted here. And I
There's
can't
a
wait to
game.
hear.
There's a game at that conference that I know you're absolutely gonna fucking pop over.
Oh really?
Which I'm surprised you haven't even seen anything on it. Which it's
I
been a
haven't
contention
seen
for a little bit because of the character model.
any.
But
Oh, that's a lie. I also saw Mike Towndrow's post about the copious amount of Monsters and Celsius energy drinks that got him through the weekend. So I saw 3 pieces of content.
Got it. Frank, what exactly was that game?
Life is Strange 2.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Probably
people
Strange too.
Life is Strange double exposure,
double exposure.
which is the Max Quadfield sequel that will be coming out this year. So
Yeah.
it is a sequel
People
to the
were-
first game.
The only reason I'm like, yeah, because people were talking about it on Twitter because like they changed a bunch. Like you can tell, like people were just like, hey, feels like a different Max because it's like her eyes are blue and their original eyes were brown, shit like that. You know what I mean? But from what I can tell, it's just because different art direction team.
Yeah, to me when I saw it, I was like, "Is that Max?" And I'm like, "Is it just look like an aged up character?"
Looks different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks a lot different, but it's I think it's because like different art direction team. Because like
Yeah.
they forgot that her eyes are brown in the original one, they made them blue in this one, so it's just like, who cares?
Not like it
That's not my
doesn't
series.
still exist. You could just go check the reference, but that's fine. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
This looks really cool. Shit.
and it will be fully released this year, in I believe September-ish time. So
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming
Play
pretty
the
quick.
shit of that.
Well, now that you, of course, seen that, I do want to talk to Fee because I haven't talked to Fee about this weekend. Pretty much about. I talked to Fee. We talk. All right, we have conversations. We share passwords.
Do you?
We it is what it is. But I didn't talk about any of the stuff going on during the week, and so that I'm mostly interested in. So, Fee, I want to give you the food.
Yeah, so I was doing live reactions all weekend over on
Point in progress, right? Point in progress. You were here every day.
Yes, I was here every day. I totally wasn't over with friends of the show, Sean Capri. Definitely wasn't hanging out with people watching and reacting to video games in another capacity. But yeah, I was over there and I did in fact share all my notes with you guys. And by you guys, I mean the people in this podcast. So have fun looking through that because it is a mind
It reads like a manifesto.
Yeah, it does. So I
it's
just
actually
have
very organized. It's actually very.
so I just have a bunch of information that I listed off what I could do, especially with things like wholesome games that like started Saturday with, oh, we're going to be showing off 70 games. And I'm like, oh my, okay, cool beans. And then Latin Games was just like, yeah, by the way, we're going to show off 80 games. So then there was 80 games. And then Women Led Games was just like, we're only just going to show a very modest 21 games. And then I
That's a
didn't watch Future
perfect
Game
number.
Fest. I was so tired by Future Games Fest. I needed to take a walk. But no, I think it was a really great weekend. There's been a lot of standouts for me. I'm really excited and it's very funny. A lot of people keep on messaging me about Avow because I was very upset because it was showing off as only first person. And as all of you know, girl can't play first person shooters or first person games. However, there is going to be a third person.
Mhm.
So really exciting news for me. Thank you everyone who has messaged me in direct messages on Twitter, on Discord, on other platforms, letting me know. I really appreciate it. I know I'm really excited. I'm also Star Wars Outlaws is looking pretty freaking good, guys. I was pretty pumped about that, which was shown off at Ubisoft. There were so many other games I have like listed, and I'm like, obviously I can't take up the entire podcast talking about everything I'm excited about, but things like Expedition 33 that was showed off at Xbox, freaking Doom, the Dark Ages, guys, that I
Dude,
will get.
I'm so excited for that fucking game.
I
have no
will
idea.
To the left, is that a DLC?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a DLC for Little
alright.
to the Left. I was also very excited about some other games as well. Of course, we got to see a little bit more of Indiana Jones, but it wasn't actual gameplay, which I was very upset about.
They had some at the end, which was pretty
Yeah.
decent.
I do want to say Xbox fucking crushed it, guys. And sorry, PlayStation, but they wrecked you in 2 fucking trailers. And
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what?
gonna be real here. Sony's on watch after that one because that was.
I
a good
was
showing.
fully prepared to come with like a full apology to Mario this week to be like, Mario, I am so sorry for acting like such a bitch last week. And I'm saying that as myself. No one told me this. I definitely recognize that I was a little bit heated. And yeah, I do definitely
all I
wanna-
wanted them to do was succeed.
You were kind of fueling the fire.
But the fire, but the fire was so that way it would make him be better if they succeeded. It was all for like, this is their thing to fail. They could fuck this up, and I'm glad they didn't.
But what's really funny is like I felt bad about this, and I was talking to Lucas, and Lucas was just like, "Hey, I really appreciate this growth that you're showing right now, and recognizing that you were a little bit over the top." But this is not a conversation you should be having with me. And so I'm like, okay, probably should go apologize to Mario. So I went and I apologized to Mario. And then Xbox came out, freaking blew PlayStation out of the fucking water. And I'm like, there was no reason to apologize. And I'm like, this was so stupid. So no, gosh, Xbox guys, I was like losing my mind it was like a roller coaster. The only thing I'm slightly off-put about in that entire showcase was Atomfall, because I don't know, recently there's been a lot of a lot of games ending with fall seem to not do so well.
Yeah.
Might be a
Shout out to
fail
Titanfall.
And their
rather than fall. Yeah, shout out to Titanfall, absolutely.
I'm still not getting a third one.
It looked like a Fallout like London thing. I thought it was actually going to be the mod for Fallout London.
Honestly, Atomfall looked fucking sick though. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean?
I thought it was going to be like, not gonna lie, when we saw the freaking what is it?
You thought it was gonna be
the phone booth.
Yeah, Doctor Who.
I thought it was gonna be freaking Doctor Who. I was just like, are they gonna like morph this into like a blue one? And then we're like, oh, this would make so much more sense as a Doctor Who game.
That's
because
what I
would
thought too. That had to have been just like a straight up Doctor Who reference. With the phone booth.
No, they're traditionally there in London. That is a thing.
It just seems like a weird place to be in the middle of nowhere, halfway going like this. So no, I think though that looked really good. Day one was fantastic too. I really enjoyed going through what I you know what? I kind of agree with Jeff. I think it was an 8 out of 10. I don't think it was a full.
That's what I said.
It was a solid 8 out of 10. I'm not gonna pull.
But...
I'm not gonna be a Snowbike Mike and say that it was really bad, and then get Jeff Keighley to freaking call my ass out.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't know what would have been bad about that conference. What did they? Because they didn't announce a multiplayer game or some shit.
It was just there wasn't.
It's always personal.
For him
it's always personal taste, right? It's always like there's nothing speaking to me directly, so therefore it's a lower rating. Versus like if you think of it globally and constructively of what they are trying to accomplish,
that's what I'm trying to
then
think.
that's fine. Like personally, I don't think it's an 8 personally. Mm-hmm. But I can understand in the context of what he's trying to get at, I can understand where he comes with 8 as that barometer. So like I get where he came from.
For myself, there was definitely some things in the showcase where I was just completely not interested in. And you know what?
Yeah,
I didn't say this.
I'm excited for Dune Awakening.
I was excited about that.
Me too.
I have thoughts about this. Which
actually, can I read your thoughts?
Let me see. Do I have it? I don't. I didn't put. Okay, the reason why is because I knew. Because here's the thing. I also shared it with people who don't understand the story and don't have a previous explanation. So I'm like, I do not want to spoil this because there is a lot going on there. Because for context, this explains how they're going to be able to make this game work. Because that was a huge concern for me. Because there was always kind of like the way that.
Are you playing as Paul?
No. This is
No.
if Paul wasn't born.
So this was like what happened to Arrakis if he didn't become Lisan al-Gaib
That I
in the
understood.
Kwisatz Capital.
And
Yeah.
that's when you were saying that, because I'm actually connecting it to what you actually wrote here. So I'm going to read what you wrote. So in the trailer, just to give some context, in the trailer, there's voiceover by Paul, who is the main character of the first book. And then basically he puts a bunch of like what ifs in there's like, what if I was not this person? What if this or that? And then Fee wrote, what if Paul Atreides didn't become a man? And that, yeah.
Isn't like the ascension like the rite of passage of becoming a man?
Because the Bene Gesserits, like the entire bloodline of the Bene Gesserits and the entire purpose of the Bene Gesserits is to specifically breed with specific rulers and leaders and influence the entire universe by having specific children. And Jessica wasn't supposed to have Paul. They were supposed to have the like a girl so she could be married off to the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be married off to the Harkonnens, which is really kind of gross in a weird way, but I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole
That's
other
a whole
dynamic.
thing, you know what I'm
It's
talking
like
about.
uncle, cousin, bunch of other stuff.
My own
but
grandpa.
I digress. Yeah. So what happens is in this case is Jessica decided to have a girl, and so that's why we don't have the Kwisatz Cabernet, and then we don't have the Lisan al-Gaib because Paul Atreides, because that was the whole concern was like, what are we gonna do on Arrakis? Because it's just gonna be Paul's Paul's Arrakis. It's gonna be Paul's Dune.
Got
In
it.
this case, if they go with he didn't exist, now it explains why we have so much freedom in the actual Dune Awakening.
Okay, got it.
That's the only reason why. Mind you, there was a lot of other things in the trailer, and because the entire story of Dune, if you read into it further and further, there's about 60,000 years published, which starts from the Roman Empire all the way past into like
Hell yeah, Dune is
the
my
very
Roman Empire.
very, very distant. Like, I apologize. It's about 40,000 years because there's a bunch of things that happen, which I'm not going to talk about. But I digress. I think it's very interesting. I'm just pumped to just go on freaking Arrakis and cause freaking shit. And I'm going to steal things.
I want to be a
and I'm gonna
Freeman.
become the Water Baron.
Yeah, I want to be a Freeman.
So this is an MMO, right?
This is an MMORPG.
Yes.
Okay.
It isn't a
So
survival.
Basically, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go to Arrakis and we're just gonna be chilling in the fucking square playing music or something like that. Like we do in Final Fantasy.
No, what we're gonna do is probably do what we do in GTA, which is just like steal
even
things.
better.
There'll be
Oh,
heists.
hell
yeah.
yeah.
There'll be heists
hell
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like us taking down the spice manufacturing, like bringing in, that absolutely, which I'm excited about. So I'm looking forward to that game specifically. But like, I do love your other notes that you do have here, of course. One of them being for Honkai Star Rail, it just says March 7, get such a cute outfit.
Yeah, during the Honkai part, I was like, I think what I love about some of us being on like other stuff while we're streaming too is sometimes I'll just go like, yeah, Fee's popping off right now. And then I'll go to the stream and you're popping off right now.
It was so cute. Like, I'm not caught up in the story, but she's like, and then we had to explain to some of my co-hosts why March 7th has her name, which for context.
That's when I tuned in. I was like, Fee is explaining something right now about this because nobody else knows about it. 100%.
Correct, because March 7th, the reason why she's called March 7th was because she was found in a frozen asteroid in space on March the 7th and has no memories of her past, and so she only calls herself March 7th is because that's the first thing she clung on to was she asked like what the date was and they said March 7th, and so she lives as March 7th right now.
Nice.
I'm glad you explained that because now that sentence makes more sense me reading it. Because I was like, March 7th, get such a cute outfit. I'm like, March 7th next year, we get an outfit for the game? Like, what are you talking about?
The other time this happened, I think the other time this happened too was World of Warcraft. That had an announcement there. I was like, yep, Fee is talking about WoW. And I went in there, you were talking about WoW.
I was so pissed off about that trailer. That was so stupid.
Okay, you got to tell me why you're pissed off because that's interesting. And I think you came in when we were talking about Metal Gear.
The only the reason why it was 5 minutes, and we were like, "Oh my god, there's gonna be
It's
so
just
much
like
stuff."
a
And
replay,
it's
like an old. It was like showing off the
It
old.
was showing the
Correct.
history, right? Yeah.
But here's the thing: I was excited. I was thinking like there's gonna be some crazy stuff. Sean Capri had some predictions. Nope, it's just a trailer for their newest one, which is The War Within.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like-
their Dawn Trail, right? Because it's supposed to be like not a reboot, but like
No.
a new story altogether.
No, it's
I was
their
lied to.
Endwalker.
That's what I was told. That's
It's
what I was
their
told.
Endwalker.
God
I don't. Who
damn it,
told you that?
Mario?
I don't know anything about World of Warcraft.
Why are you getting
You,
your?
you said
No.
this, like, either you or Harv said.
Harv
this is
said
supposed to be
it.
like
we
a
have
remake,
video. We can watch it. If
A
you want.
remake, or not
Oh my
remake,
God.
but like a new story.
No,
Altogether.
it's supposed to be
It's
the
the end.
beginning of
That's
the
what I
Dawn
thought.
Trail.
That's what I thought when I was watching the
Correct.
because it looked like the end.
That's the whole purpose of the
Like a
fact it's called The War
culmination.
Within, and they showed all the things before that because they're preparing you for the end.
Is it the end game?
Oh.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's the end game.
that makes
There you
They're
go.
probably going to bring back everyone. But I digress. I like also Civ 7. I know you guys aren't probably excited. I'm ready for gonna.
I would play. The thing about Civ games is just like it's a time commitment, right?
Oh yeah.
Because unlike Civilization Revolution, where you can probably finish a game in maybe 1 or 2 hours,
Yeah.
you're probably playing more than at least 6 in a actual Civ game, and that's
Yeah.
probably being light.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a time commitment. But I mean, if y'all are down to play Civ 7, I'm down. We might have more time doing it in the
I'm
future.
also
Yeah, maybe.
not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna give a hot take. I think Killer Bean looks really stupid, and
What the
everyone
fuck?
seems to love it, and I don't get it.
Apparently,
don't get it.
apparently
Have
you
seen the
hate.
movie?
Apparently you hate fun. All right.
Have you ever seen the
Yeah,
Killer Bean movie?
Fun. There's a
Hey.
movie.
Well, that's
Why
what-
is there a
that's why there's a
movie?
game. There's
Hey.
a game because there's a movie. Killer Bean was a movie that came out. It was like kind of like an indie CGI film. It's bad on purpose. Keep that in mind. It's 100% bad on purpose. It's meant to
This
parody
man
action movies.
Did the CGI for fucking The Matrix, and then he went and made the Killer Bean.
Yeah, it's a little passion project. And you
Hey,
know
man.
what? The movie's fun. The movie is
Some
so fucking fun and
people
stupid.
loved the Book of Christ so much they made an animated series about
God.
vegetables talking about your Lord and
the
Savior.
bean.
All right, so
Oh, you're
let's
talking about VeggieTales.
I'm talking about
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales. So
Oh,
let this
God.
man dream. Let this
I
man
just-
dream
I'm
about the
sorry.
bean.
I think it looks.
I think the movie was made by one guy. If I'm correct, I could be wrong on that. The movie was made by one guy.
The game is,
The game is
yeah.
also made by one guy.
I'm sorry, guys. This
Okay.
looks.
It's supposed to be
Speaking of
stupid.
fun
Keep
games,
that in mind.
I have a
Yes.
game we can play.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to go through and talk about the things I actually know that are on all of these lists. Thank you, Fee, for collecting all of this. And then there's a couple from each of these showcases that I would like to see if any of you remember, and if you do, then can you describe them to
That's
me?
actually pretty funny because I don't remember half of these.
That'll be the game. Okay, so I see Phoenix Springs is on here twice. I saw that.
I played it.
earlier, maybe end of last year. Anyways, that looks great. Should be excellent. And then from Women-Led Games, Solitaire is on here. I played that demo. It was excellent. Had a great time with that. I think there was another demo in here that I had played. Maybe not. Those might be the two.
There's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games. Oh, and I think the other one was a game I didn't play but was on my wish list that came out. Never mind. Okay. So here's the game of Sly names random games and sees if anybody remembers anything about them. From SGF. Is that what this is? This is Day of the Devs. Never mind. From Day of the Devs, we have Koira? A narrative game about waking up in a snowy forest.
That's gonna be all fee.
Wait, you're talking about what was that one survival game that did exactly the same thing?
In
I'll find
Alone
the
in the
name. I
Dark.
own it.
Alone in the Dark.
No. You're thinking of that's
Oh.
House.
This is the one where they have essentially the character that has this they're the shadow, and then they collect animals. So they have really cute like companions, and you can save animals during this particular game. And then like it's kind of like a very stark contrast between they have like the dog that has the red nose that's glowing, and you can
Rudolph?
play hide and seek and stuff like that. It's very cute. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a really good
I was
game.
yeah, the game I was thinking about definitely wasn't cute.
It says the description is save a puppy and embark on a musical hand-drawn adventure, journey together to a heart of a magical forest. Run from danger and discover your powers. There is no narration in the game. There's only music, and you have like specific parts play music depending on what you do.
Love that. Incredible. Sounds excellent. All right. Also on this sheet, the After Love E EP.
That
That is made by the people who made Coffee Talk and Coffee
Yes.
Talk 2. This essentially was his passion project before he passed
Okay.
away.
yes, that's
It
right. They're
was
finishing his
not
game.
going to be completed. And so what happened was someone stepped up, which was a very close friend of his, who decided to continue on with the game and then show his love of Jakarta. And so it's a love story with the characters and also his love for Jakarta, because that's something that resonates with him. Fun fact, one of my co-hosts over on the Carpool is Seth. Seth is actually he talked to the creator fairly frequently before his passing, and he talked about Jakarta quite often with him, and talked about where he should go if he ever goes there, and talked about video games and everything. And one time when a particular person in his community won an item, but he had to ship it to an area near Jakarta, he actually he reached out to him and asked for assistance, and so it's really cool. Really cool time.
Yeah,
It's
the
a really well
Coffee
done.
Talks were great, and it'd be so cool to see like the finishing of that story. That's awesome. All right, cool, great, lovely. Devolver, we got the Crush House.
So I'll tell you what about the Devolver Showcase thing. It was kind of a bummer this year.
Did they not do the cool stuff?
They do, but they changed stories. I don't think if you remember. So basically, I ended up showing my partner every single showcase because I was like, yeah, I don't remember the story, because usually there's a continuation of every showcase. So we watched from the first one all the way through, and basically they actually changed arcs in between them, which I didn't realize until I watched it, sequentially. But basically, it's always the, on the stage lady, Nina Struthers, like, talking. And then they changed it where it was like, she's no longer the person talking on screen. She's now, like, working in the office with a bunch of other people. And they're trying to figure out what to do and how to monetize and all this stuff. The last couple of showcases have been about this fake mascot character, Volley. And so this was, I guess, this last one was, I guess, the 15th anniversary of Volley, and there was like the biggest fan like celebrating it. It was honestly,
I get it.
It was,
I know what they're doing.
And honestly, I was sort of like, it's okay. Like the presentation of it, as watching them all sequentially, for me, this is definitely not as strong as like how they started. So a lot of the games sort of like, unless you're Cult of the Lamb, it kind of like blended into each other. The only game like that really stood out was Possessors on that, because I believe it has sort of like it's by the same company that makes those Hyperlife Drifter games. So like that super stylized, like colorful, like Andy Cortez games that he loves. Like it looks really gorgeous, but it's a side scroller, I think is what it is. I'm looking forward to that game. It's very pretty in terms of design, but that's really it. So like the rest of the games, honestly, I couldn't tell you on that showcase because it was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only things that really stood out were the Cult of the Lambs, because now we're getting a local co-op, which a lot of people are upset about. I honestly am really pumped because I'm already planning out a complete stream series with Lucas and I where we're playing this together.
yeah.
That'll be great.
So
I'm so
yeah.
excited to watch that.
yeah, exactly. And I also was thinking about making us PNG tubers where we look like because I want to play the goat. I'm freaking playing the goat. I don't give a diddly damn. I already told Lucas, I'm like, you're playing the lamb, I'm playing the goat, which by the way is the new character that was introduced, which is a goat character, which for context reminds me a lot of a goat from a movie called The Vitch, which is called Black Peter. If you don't know who Black Peter is, just go listen to his voice. Majestic, even though it's like absolutely terrifying, buttery smooth voice, like just as a character, even though yes, he's a goat and I understand this, but fantastic narrator, by the way, 10 out of 10. But no, he's just like a little black goat with like his little slit eyes and then has like a purple like cloak, and I'm like, I want this. He's a little like shit disturber, and I want to be this character.
It sounded like when they did Cupman, was it Cuphead, and then they made his like they made his friend Mugman.
Yeah, this is now Goat. He's
Goat
he's
man.
the
Fuck
goat.
you, Goat man.
And then the Crush House does look really cool. It does have very much like almost Inscription vibes in a way. And why I'm saying this is because there's people in the house. It's like Big Brother. There's drama. You can like get people to look up. You can get people to do random like musical and jazz, and like it's just like Sandra was hitting up the part, like really like spicing up the party, and then they switch it up and they're like Pedro's really spicing up the party, because you can have different characters do different things. But then all of a sudden you find out at night shit might get fucking weird in this house and people might die. Who knows? There might be an evil deity who might be living in the basement. Who knows? It's the Crush House. Everything is fine. So that's a game that I'm very excited for. But yes, I definitely agree. This was not
their
up
best
to the usual Devolver Digital, especially with the fact that we did have Summer Games Fest and then Day of the Devs, and it really didn't help because then it was sandwiched between wholesome games and Latin games, and those two alone, let alone the rest of the like with women-led games, Saturday was a freaking like titan of games.
Yeah.
And so this really didn't help with Devolver, which is kind of a bummer because they usually bring it.
Yeah, they're usually one of the best showcases of the week. That's
Not
really
even.
unfortunate to hear. But yeah, great. Wholesome Games has 1 million, so I don't know if you'll remember any of these.
I mean, to be honest, the ones we definitely focused the most were obviously Summer Games Fest and Xbox and Ubisoft. When it came to all these other ones, I either watched some of them, but then, yeah, some of them did cross over, which was nice. So just wanted to give some context that there's a bunch in these ones that I probably will not remember.
Fee, do you remember Critter Cafe?
1 second.
No.
I can tell you the moment.
I think about
Yes.
Okay.
This is a very wholesome game where you're playing a chibi character where you get go into different realms and then get critters and save the critters, and then they get to hang out in your cafe with you. And so they might be able to bring stories and stuff like that, but it is very cute. It's very cutesy. I will definitely be checking it out. Though it is in kind of like
Wholesome,
in the realm where
so I would hope it was wholesome.
I mean, correct. But yeah, I think it's definitely a game that people should check out if you're looking for kind of like a farming, like life sim kind of game. So yeah, I will definitely say I don't know if the art style is up my alley, because as much as I like chibi characters, it's a little. This is gonna sound very silly. It's a little too chibi, like chibi for me, if that makes sense.
I agree. There is a level of chibi that you can sometimes you can go a little too chibi.
But no, like if you're looking for something cozy, definitely.
Did you say you're like hopping into other dimensions and kidnapping cute critters?
No, they're in essentially bad situations and you're saving
Okay,
them.
so you're rescuing them. Okay.
Very different, but also the same.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. The other one, your notes just say all caps character creation. It was Cato's Post Office. And I was wondering if any of y'all played Mail Time a couple
No.
years ago.
No.
It was the one where you're a little mail carrier and you're jumping on mushrooms to like hop around. No. All right, that was fun. I
I played that game, but his name was Mario. That's all I played. That's
Self-insert.
Fucking Mary Sue character, God.
Fucking
So I'm
invincible.
just gonna post a photo in our channel.
Uh-huh.
You get to customize your cat character. And he wears a little blue shirt and a little yellow hat
adorable.
with a little satchel, and he's just trying to do his best as a little post office person.
Just
And
doing
he's
his job. Love that.
just doing his job. He's a little bit sad. Maybe he
Yeah,
doesn't
until
have
he
the
goes
best.
postal.
No, he doesn't go. It's a freaking cozy game.
Nah, he's gonna go postal at the end. Watch.
But definitely very cute. I got very excited because you can create your cat. So I will, if I do play it, have to make 2 save files. One's going to be Luke and one's going to be Hera.
Of course. As you should.
Of course.
Look at Pip Business when you get a chance.
Oh yeah.
I will. Can I talk about Screenbound? Because Screenbound's on this list.
Yeah, go for it.
Screenbound is this platformer game where the world is 3D, but the screen itself in front of you is a Game Boy. And the Game Boy is in 2D. And it's sort of styled in the sense of like Mario, or I would say closer to like Sonic the Hedgehog. And what you're doing is the enemies are not in the 3D plane. They're only in the 2D plane. So if you're going to attack them, you can only see them while holding the thing in front of you. The platforming, though, is in 3D, which makes it misleading when you're looking at it in 2D because there could be things hidden behind the flat surface. So it makes it interesting of how to navigate between the world of bouncing around, shooting enemies that are not there in front of you, but you can see them on the screen only. And then to me, this game is just the cutest idea of being, and they showed different customizations of the Game Boy because it goes from being like the old school way to like their version of a Game Boy to clearly like an SP style Game Boy. And it's always in the frame at all times. And it's like the coolest fucking thing. I'm really looking forward to it just because the idea is just so unique and how it's combining such a nostalgic thing for people that played, handhelds, but then having that be somewhat important to the gameplay, I think is really cool. So yeah,
I'm never playing that game.
you're never playing that game.
I will legitimately die playing that game. It is in first person twice.
Yes, technically.
Yes. It looks very cute. And I think it's really cool that they demoed the game by showing how they made the game and what they did
I
to
love
think about
that.
like, this is what we did to be able to like conceptualize this. It started off with a gray box and you're walking on a gray scale like Blender screen, and then they were able to accomplish all that. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's really cool when someone takes an idea that you wouldn't think would become a video game and they conceptualize it and they create it into a video game, and I have the utmost respect for them. But that will make me so violently ill that I cannot play this game. I couldn't watch
I
it.
just saw like 2 seconds of gameplay and I already wanted to be.
So it was on multiple showcases.
It looks so pretty. That motion is not a
10 out of 10. You get like
10. Yeah, not for me.
yeah.
God,
That's great.
yeah.
Did anybody else have anything from Wholesome they wanted to shout out?
I want to hear wholesome. Let's see here.
Yeah.
There's a few things that are here.
Lost and Found Co. Fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That game has a demo. Go play it. It's so good. It's about essentially like for people who watch anime and listen to this podcast, it's very Norigami, which is essentially what happens when gods, like Japanese gods, essentially fall from grace, essentially. So the less followers you have, the less like essentially like power you have. And so there is a goddess named Mai who used to be very powerful and now she's not powerful anymore. And so to be able to build up her recognition, she has her essentially her like sidekicks, which are ducks. I don't know why. I don't know if she's the deity of ducks, but one of the workers, his name is Ducky, helps her, and they go and try to build up their reputation by going and helping people find things. It is very good. It has a lot of different shout outs, a lot of like Easter eggs and nods to different things. For example, and I'm not going to spoil everything in the game, one of my favorite things was you go onto this pier where there's like essentially an island that's a bar, and one of the people there looks like Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. And then one of the things is you give him a drink and then he turns into a monkey. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. What a fucking great nod to this game. So I definitely loved it. I also played the demo for it, and I was like, the art style is just so freaking good. And this gameplay is fantastic. It's a Where's Waldo game. So go check it out. It's also very funny. There's a lot of quirks and different things and items to find, and it's just so good. I love that game so much, and I just want to play it. I also bought Pool, Pool, which is a pool version of Suika game. So you combine balls or fruit, I guess.
Combine those balls.
Combine those balls. But there was just so many games. Like, I could sit here for hours and talk about this showcase. Too many games.
Many games.
Yeah.
All right. We want to drop over to Latin games.
Sure.
This is where it comes to the too many game territory, where like there's just too many here that they all either mix together. So I think you're gonna have to go to the higher end ones, but you can go ahead. We go through the list if you want to.
I just saw on this list the Midnight Crimes.
Oh, Midnight Crimes. 1 second. I have to like look at a photo of it to remember what this was about.
Your notes, of course, says Telltale, Wolf Among Us, Detective, Neon
Oh my god,
Noir.
this looks so... Frank, you're gonna love this game. It looks so fucking sick. It like, legitimately, if I wasn't aware, this would have been like a spin-off of The Wolf Among Us. It has very Telltale type of like very sketchy, thicker lines when it comes to the artwork. It's about a character who seems very much like on the precipice of like just the full-blown depression because he lost people in his lives, and now he's trying to like revenge them by finding the murderers associated with it. It looks so fucking beautiful, like just like, and I say beautiful in like the grimy kind of like noir detective kind of like esque kind of, it just looks so fucking sick. And there's like fighting and stuff like that, and obviously it's kind of like a story rich point and click decide your fate kind of story. So would highly recommend it. If you haven't checked out the trailer, it looks sick.
What was it called?
It is called the Midnight Crimes. There is a demo for it. There is no there's no time, like no there's there's no release date, but it is by Deadly Crow Games.
I like that. I like that art style a lot, actually. It's really cool.
It looks so cool. So I would highly recommend it. I haven't played the demo yet. It is on my demo list for Thursday. So I'm going to be playing that on Thursday with a few other demos.
Oh, yeah.
The next one is on both Latin games and women-led games. We love that. Powerhouse combo. Mexico 1921, A Deep Slumber.
This looks sick. This is about Mexico in the 1920s when they're trying a revolution for their independence. You play as a journalist, and you're trying to hear people's conversations and get an idea of what's going on.
This is the documentary game, right? Am I crazy?
Your notes say historical fiction, which is why I was.
Oh, hold on. There was another one. Go ahead, continue.
I love a historical fiction.
Yeah, this one looks very cool. It's very claymation-esque. It's also, once again, very much a point-and-click detective game where you find your information by overhearing people's conversations. You have to like walk near people to listen in on a conversation between two people at a particular like fair or something. And so that one looked really cool. Another one to also shout out, because it's actually based on a war that I had no idea existed, which is the War of Chiapas. I think is how they pronounce it. I apologize if I mispronunciated that, but I was unaware that this thing even happened. This is not taught in like specifically in Canada, so I was unaware that this was even a thing. Which is essentially the decimation of a people, and it is absolutely mind-blowing. And at first I was just like, oh, I wonder if this is like based on anything, and I Google it and I'm like, this is depressing. Yeah, it's about the Zapitas uprising in 1994 to 1995. Which apparently was like, and I apologize for my mispronunciation of all this, because I only looked at it briefly. I didn't go into a full deep dive. But yeah, it's a bit like it was about depression, death and mistreatment, and then army war camps. So it's a pixel style game, and it was very much the entire time I was sitting there, I was just like, this is very heavy. So there's a lot of games like that there. Now I feel like I shouldn't have talked about the downer, because now I want to really talk about a really cute one.
Do it.
Which
We love a
okay.
yin and yang.
So it's on both. It's Disvaldo. You play as a cat bat who just wants to go to fucking sleep. You go back to your castle and you're just turning out the lights. All you do want to do is just turn out the freaking torches. You just want to turn off all the lights there because you just want some fucking sleep.
Just wants to sleep. Just want to go to sleep.
He just wants to sleep. He's very cute. But yeah, this one, like I will definitely say this particular showcase blew, like, it was fantastic. There was so much. There was a game for everyone, which was, and I know that that's probably because there was about 75 games there, but there was just so much different variety, and it was really cool to be able to see the conversations that they had. Of course, they had a lot of different game devs and designers and artists where they interviewed some of them in very short, like, one question kind of back and forth, and they kind of illustrated it. It was really cool. I think it was great that they highlighted specifically these particular games. I think it's a great opportunity. And also found out a lot of the ones that I'm really excited for remain in Argentina. So shout out Argentina. Woo!
Oh, Argentina.
Yeah.
I did want to re-shout out the Mexico 1921 A Deep Slumber. So that when they were talking about it, they were describing it as a documentary style where basically you are going through this narrative, but you're discovering real facts about what was happening at the time in 1921. So that's what I thought was very interesting. And I really want more games like that that explore real world topics, but from a certain lens that offer, there was another game, I think it was a platformer where you played as an Eskimo and the fox, and there was a documentary that was actually tied to the narrative of that game.
Yeah.
I think it was called Never Alone, if I'm not mistaken. But I want stuff like that. I think that those are, to me, are very interesting ways to gamify history while also providing with like some context. So I would love for to check that game out specifically. There is a demo. It is planned to release later this year.
Yeah, I think these types of games are very much needed, because I feel like we've heard, like, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't get history from other locations, but I feel like, especially in media and like movies and television shows, and of course in other platforms of media, I feel like we get a lot of like European stories. And I'm not saying that we haven't heard every single European story by any stretch of the word, very like Western European, but I feel like it would be like having these types of games. This is why I think, Mario, I agree. I think that's what drew me into the game, and also the fact that it does have game elements that I'm really interested in. But of course, I also very much love to consume history, so I think this is a great way to introduce it in a different way. And I think, like, the reason why I put historical fiction, because of course there is going to be those fictional elements, and this character, I don't personally know if this character was a person during that time period, but it's really cool that they are like bringing in elements of actual events that occurred, because it's not taught, at least where I am. So I can't speak for you guys, but I think
a
it's
lot of
great
our
opportunity.
history, at least the way it was taught through like our school system,
Mhm.
when I was growing up, did omit a lot of fucked up shit that we did. I like to tell people, like, you got to remember, history is written by the victors, man, and they're gonna leave out a lot of the bullshit they pulled during that time period, which is good because I love to see different perspectives on stuff like wars and stuff like conflicts and everything like that, because you know you're always gonna see it one way, but if you don't see it on the other side, how are you really gonna fully understand what was going on? You know
And
what I
the
mean?
other thing about getting to tell these stories through an interactive medium is like you can read a history textbook any day, and like how much of that are you really going to remember and connect to? But putting it in a like immersive narrative like structure where you are like physically going through and discovering these pieces of information, it's a
Yeah.
completely different learning style. And like games like this, I'm sure are going to be so excellent in a classroom setting where you can actually get hands-on and explore and learn all of these concepts. And then you can go the next level of like, okay, what if this is fictionalized? What if this can we find evidence is like true to what existed from our records?
Yeah, especially if they have like a way to illustrate these are the true facts. These are what is fabricated, but told in context. I think is what makes them interesting. Can we talk about the big boys, the big ones?
I would like to talk about women-led games before we hop, skip, and jump
Okay.
over to the big boys.
I wanted to add earlier, I couldn't remember the other one that I had played previously that I wanted to give a shout out to. It was Hyde's Haunt and Seek. I played this hands-on at PAX. It was excellent. It's a blast. I'm really looking forward to when that comes out. So that Solitaire and Phoenix Springs were all from women-led games. We love that.
Yeah, Phoenix Springs is a game that I'm very, very excited for. I played the demo for it, and guys, when that game gets released, it's definitely going to be in my top 5 games of the year. It is phenomenally done. If you are unaware of this game, holy frig, go play the demo. It looks amazing. I believe the current release date is September. They don't have an exact date, but it's by Kelligrim Studio, and holy hell, the art style just looks amazing. It's very like it reminds me a lot of like late 70s, early 80s kind of like indie like comic book style, and it just looks like everything looks like it's in place for a reason. Like there's like for example in the trailer there's 2 lights that are seen in the darkness, and obviously they're street lights, but I feel like there's more like more going on there. So it's really well done, and everything's in a place for a reason. So I'm very excited to hop back. I'm probably going to play the demo again, just to get back up the hype. But another game, which by the way, this is a crime that this was not on the freaking showcase. It's Cabernet. Guys, if I can just like, oh my god. Guys, it is like you start off the game because like, and you find out that you're dead. The character is dead, and there's people standing
You are
over your
dead.
grave, and they're like talking about you and your past. And then guess what? Frank, there's fucking VATs. You get to choose if you like have like if you're better in arts, if you're better in political like
Oh,
conversation,
special.
historical.
You're talking
Yeah,
about special.
specials. Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
thought you
talking
were
about
talking about
specials.
like the zoom in.
No,
and the
sorry.
fucking-
No, they have specials.
I was
So
like, damn,
it's
it was kind of sick.
well, maybe. No, it's just you have specials, and then you wake up from the dead, and you find out that you're a vampire. And you've been
Yeah.
turned. You are in Eastern Europe, or at least you think you are at this point, because you may have been shipped somewhere. We don't know yet. And you wake up in a manor with a bunch of other vampires, and your choices in the game affect what happens throughout. It is a psychological horror game. It is fully
Love it.
voice acted, and one of my favorite characters, guys, as we all know, one of my
Is
favorite
this-
games,
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
just
about.
wait, was freaking the excavation of Hobbsboro. And the main character in that game was Philomena, and she was voice acted by a voice actress named Samantha Barnett. And she also voice acted in a game called Baldur's Gate 3, and she was Karlock, and she's in this fucking game. I was just like, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this is Karlock. This is Samantha. I'm like, there's no
Made by the same people who did Universe for Sale, which I haven't played, but has been on my wish list for a while. It looks so good. I love their art style.
This game
And they
is
did
so...
Behind the Frame? Is that true?
They may have produced it. I don't think they made it.
Might,
This was...
maybe same publisher.
Yeah.
Same publisher, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but no, it's just, it looks, the game is fantastic. The overall, like, there's some things that happen in my gameplay that's not going to happen in someone else's gameplay because of my choices. Because there's also, like, you're either going to be still, like, you're going to be, there's a good or evil kind of arc. So you can choose either, like, to keep your humanity or to spiral into darkness. There's just so many different elements. And the fact that there's, it's just so many things, and also the fact that it's fully voice acted as well, and they all do a fantastic job. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out that game because that was a standout, and it wasn't even on the showcase. You have to find it on Steam, and it's on the front page. When you click on women-led games to try demos, that is the first game that comes up, and I'm like, man, this is such a good game. So I'm really happy I tried it. So yeah, now we can hop into the games that you want to talk about, Mario, which is the big boys.
Well, I mostly want to hear what Frank has to say about any of these games, specifically anything in the Xbox category, because Xbox did have quite a few things at least shown off. And I don't know, what are some things that Sly has not seen that you think would be interesting? I know that we brought the Karlock character, but also Ben Starr made an appearance from fucking Final Fantasy 16 in here.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. The Among Us TV show was really cool. I can't wait to see that. I'm excited for Monster Hunter. See Monster Hunter again. Of course, Metal Gear Solid Delta was at the show. That's gonna be very interesting. I don't know if you saw some of the stuff that came out for that. One of them being permanent damage to Snake throughout the game. So if anything happens to his to his body or anything like that through like combat and everything, Metal Gear the original one had kind of that system, because I don't know if you ever like left like an arrow in you,
Yeah.
and then for an extended period of time it stays in there throughout the whole game, until you remove it. So I like it. It's kind of an addition of that system, just kind of more of an extreme. And something Kojima probably would have done if he had the technology at the time. But yeah, no. That, of course, Alan Wake 2. I still haven't played the new DLCs yet. I don't feel like buying them right now. I don't really have time to. But I've heard nothing but good things about the new DLCs. I heard they're short.
I played the first one out of the 3 episodes, and it was short. It was surprisingly short. I will say the one that I was most excited for was not what I was expecting, but we'll get there when you get there.
Yeah. I'm looking at this list here. Killer Bean's fucking sick. I don't care what Fee's spoken. All right, Killer Bean is gonna single-handedly save the games industry. But yeah, no, I mean, I just think it looks cool. Honestly, it's gonna be another one of those dumb games that you play like once and then just probably never play again. But I'm gonna play the shit out of that one. That and Squirrel with a Gun. Surprised I didn't see anything about that one.
Because it's coming out.
Soon.
Yeah, it's coming out very soon.
Let me look here. I outgrew Power Rangers, so that ain't a game for me.
I'm playing the shit out of that game. Carlos, I know is in the chat. We'll fucking playing that shit. I can't wait.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was awesome. I'm glad to see that game get some fucking spotlight, honestly. Slitterhead looks cool. It looks a little weird, but looks cool. Reminds me a lot of what was that game called? Psycho Jump or some shit like that. It was an old game where you can like jump into people's heads like at will. No More Room in Hell 2. that's a blast from my past specifically, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here who's ever even touched that game. Amazing first game, just a mod. Can't wait to see what they do with this one. I love my survival horde games with the boys, and then I'm gonna play Arkham Shadow probably.
You are?
Yeah, because I mean it's on the meta quest. I have a quest. Might as well.
Okay.
I'm like I'm the audience of like, yeah, it kind of lines up, so might as well try it. I might just wait till it's like they eventually don't make enough money on it and then just release it somewhere else. But yeah, no, I don't really have like a ton that I was like, man, this is like the best thing since like sliced bread. But I thought the showings for it were just solid because it kind of encapsulated everything that anybody could ever wanted. Oh, and Stalker. Stalker's always nice to see. I love Stalker. Stalker's great. We need more Stalker in our life. Actually, I think it just got an update on consoles too, which is kind of cool.
The two games that I thought was a standout for at least the Xbox conference was South of Midnight and Expedition 33.
Oh, yeah, South of Midnight.
South of Midnight looks so fucking cool. Fee, what was your thoughts
South
on that
of Midnight
one?
looks good.
South of Midnight?
Yes.
I have to
So that's the
the
Spider-Verse
one where-
looking game where it's in the South. It's like New Orleans.
Oh, that looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what's funny is like it was shown off last year. You could not tell me where that was shown last year. I could not
It was
recollect to you
Xbox.
what happened. Bro, I could not remember. But I don't know what happened between last year and this year, but it looked like I will like even though yes,
think
I
they didn't
recognize
have
that I did
gameplay
not
last
It was just a regular trailer reveal.
Well, this time
That's
it looks
probably
amazing. Well, no, it wasn't even that. I don't think it stood out to me last year because it looks very different. Like there was a lot more like interaction between her and her companion. There was like the alligator and just like I don't think it even like I don't remember the trailer. I do not remember seeing anything
Yeah.
for this last year.
Probably because they didn't show any game. It was like a quick little like, hey, this is the style we're going for. I think we all just kind of wrote it off as
For me, the Spider-Verse was the what's that Spider-Verse game gonna come? And I'm glad that this is what it actually looks like.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not care. Like in that particular scenario, I don't care if there was gameplay. I just do not remember this game from last year at all. Like it just did not stand out. Yeah, last year it had the guy that looks like he was playing the guitar, which was like I remember the song.
Yeah, I can always remember because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I want gameplay. No gameplay, no hype.
So then, what did you think about the actual thing that you did see this time?
No, I think it looks fantastic. I'm definitely going to be playing this game. I think it's like just overall, it looked like they took once again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. They took a concept and the fact that it has like that very much like it has that Spider-Verse like feel to it, but it also has kind of like this patchwork kind of like claymation situation going on where the creatures that are what I'm assuming are some sort of like southern gods or something, or southern like beasts,
like bayou monsters.
Yeah, bayou monsters have like this kind of like colorful patchwork and like different elements brought to like patching them together. Like when we saw the catfish character that she was like, it doesn't look like a catfish.
For me,
it looks like a catfish, but it has like the different colors and the stripes and the polka dots.
It looked like Princess and the Frog and James and the Giant Peach slapped together. Yes. And then this is sort of what you get with the patchworkiness of like a Henry Selick like 3D action live action animated thing, then with like the southern details that they show off in here. While the gameplay, while looking at it, have you ever played Kenna Bridge of Spirits?
No, but I've heard it's really good.
That looks exactly basically gameplay wise of them like when he kills the creature and then the flowers sort of like start blooming. It's sort of like the whole idea of Kenna Bridge of Spirits is like bringing the world back, destroying all the muck, and that's what happened in this like little demo, and it looks sick. Love obviously the little calls with the fucking Tears of the Kingdom glider and the Spider-Man flying through like the sort of wind tunnel stuff. Like all that I'm okay, even though I've seen it in other places. I just love the package of this game that I want to exist in this world.
Yeah. No, I definitely. That's why, like, it stood out to me as like, and yes, it was cool to see the gameplay this time around, even though it was very short. But I think kind of like the back and forth, aspect of her, like with the catfish and stuff like that. I'm very interested to see where they're taking it, especially with why is she in that situation? Because we still don't have answers, of course. But positives with all of this. Let me just see here. I'm pretty sure this comes to Game Pass day one too.
Yes,
It does. It does come to
they
Game Pass. Day
Xbox
one.
owns that
Play
company,
the shit out of that. Play the
Yeah.
shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pulling this day one.
which is wild because
Reminds me
I didn't like.
that combat. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I didn't enjoy We Happy Few, which I'm very curious about for this game specifically.
Yeah, I'm definitely like. There's just so many like that game stood out to me. Of course, we got to see Dragon Age, which was really cool. Even though I do understand people are upset about the fact that it looks different, because there is that kind of like cartoony aspect to it, where some people are like, "This looks like shit," and I'm like, "Okay, first of all, calm down, gamers. Like, relax." I'm gonna be I'm definitely gonna be checking it out when it comes out. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But then of course we also saw Fable, which I don't know, has any like Mario, have you played Fable?
I've played all of them.
Okay.
So
Are you excited for this Fable?
I am very excited. So Fable is one of those series where when I got my Xbox, the primary games I played was Splinter Cell, Halo, and my fantasy game wasn't Morrowind. It was Fable. Fable is ingrained into my soul, pretty much because of the Mighty Python-ness of the comedy, and also the silliness of the game mixed within the sort of like I'm the hero or I'm the bad guy morality system that they have. I thought the sequels, even though they're not as, in my opinion, have lived up to the promise of whatever Peter Molyneux ever said for them, I still enjoy them as a series. And all I'm excited for is, can they do that with this game? May it not be necessarily a Mighty Python style, but maybe it's more of like IT Crowd, Matt Berry, like in that vein. And that's what I'm kind of interested, because they had, I think his name is Richard Ayoade in the last trailer, who is I think Mose in IT Crowd. The humor
Yes.
of this world, I'm very, very excited for. I think they're in a good place there. I obviously have concerns of like what the story is. Is it any connective tissue of what's going on in the previous Fable stuff? There is a character who I saw at the end of the trailer that is alluding to be a person that they're dealing with. Seems to be sort of like on the bad side. My personal thought was, well, what if there are, character selection, you choose between this person, or depending on the deeds you do, you become this person. I'm curious of like how they were presenting that, because it felt very much like we're focusing a lot on the hero, on the good aspects, that if that character might be if you go with the bad route. And that's what I'm curious about. They always had different things about them. Fable 1 was very straightforward in its story. Fable 2 was like, you are with a companion with your dog, you lost your sibling, and then you're basically getting revenge. Third one, of course, you're the monarch, you're the king of this of Albion. So this one definitely sounds like it's starting back from basics, and that's why I'm very excited to play this specific game.
Yeah, I think someone made a joke about the fact that they're probably keeping Matt Berry and for the next Fallout game.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a shout out. Anyway, I digress. I honestly, when we saw that character, I'm like, this would have been 10 times better if it was Matt Berry. I think it would have been much more like thematically
Unless,
accurate.
which by the way, if you're a certain level of British, you recognize that guy immediately, and you would make comments about that guy. Like, I guess I never watched Peep Show, but apparently he was a character on Peep Show, and so like if you're within that comedy scene in Britain, like for instance, Timur Hussein and like Lucy James picked it up immediately, and they're calling him by this character's name, and I have no idea who the fuck that is. But for someone, that makes them laugh, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm curious to like check it out, of course, because I've never played a Fable game before, but it seems something that I would definitely enjoy. So I will definitely be checking it out. I think, and I commented on this as well when we were watching, when we were talking about the showcase, was the Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred trailer
Yikes.
was so viscerally uncomfortable, but I loved it.
It was so painful. And I've watched the conference, other people reacting to it, and I always just don't look at the screen when that one's on.
Yeah, I was fully, but then mind you, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna sound very silly, is if I didn't know that that was a trailer for Diablo 4, I would have thought that it was a Game of Thrones video game announcement. To specifically talk about an area, which I'm going to put on my Game of Thrones nerd hat on for a second, is there's a place called Old Valyria, which is where the Targaryens came from. And when they originally, it was a civilization that was full of dragons and incredibly sophisticated people, until one point when essentially the Great Fire came, that essentially a ring of volcanoes exploded because they kept on drilling into the earth because they were like, we get more power, and they're like, you shouldn't do this, there's terrible things down here, and they're like, whatever, we're getting it knowledge and information, and we're getting power from this, and we're getting money. No, the creatures of the dark depths of the world essentially sprang out and became this volcanic like acid rain and just like pure like destruction that killed essentially everybody. The Targaryens, however, had a particular family member that were able to say like, we should leave Valyria, and they're like, okay. So then that's when they went to Dragonstone, and that's when the big issue happened. However, we saw this where like in the trailer where the water was like all like black tar and swirling with like dead corpses and like fish and stuff in it, and then we saw that like large pillar at the end. I'm like, this would have been a great way to introduce a video game about Game of Thrones, because holy moly, it's crazy. It's like and also there's like the entire story about Arya Targaryen, who went to like, she ended up leaving, for context, this is me going off again, is she flew off on a very large dragon for 1 year, and she came back and the dragon essentially decimated, and her body non-existent anymore. She was full of fireworms and exploded. That's a really TMI moment, and then it gets worse, but I'm gonna keep you guys out of the dark for that part. So it just like that particular scene, I'm like, this would have been great for Game of Thrones. But I digress. That's just me nerding out for a second. It did look really cool. I just wish that the gameplay matched the trailer. The end.
Wow. Just wow.
I just got some breaking news.
Oh no.
Nobody cares about this but me.
Oh, great.
We're getting a rematch of last year's Calder Cup finals. It is official. The Firebirds will be playing the Hershey Bears for a rematch this year. That'll be very exciting.
Which house of fucking Game of Thrones is that?
It is the American Hockey League.
God damn. All right.
It sounded like chocolate bars because they're like the Hershey Bears.
That's
I'm like, the Hershey Bears
basically
is the DC farm team. And then the Coachella Valley Firebirds are the Kraken farm team. So they're playing their finals against each other.
The farm team?
Like where the young players play before they go up to the NHL.
Oh, there's a minor league for hockey?
Yeah.
Got it.
AHL. Some of the teams are independent, but most of them are affiliated with an NHL team.
Got it. Interesting.
Anyways, so basically, the Capitals, Baby Capitals versus Baby Kraken, playing again. Last year, it went to overtime in Game 7. Firebirds lost. It was devastating. Hopefully, it's a comeback year for them. I'm so excited. I'm gonna eat that shit up. Not to totally turn this into a hockey podcast. Harv isn't here to back me up. So get back to video games. Back to
Well,
our
I'm so
regulation
glad that
programming.
both Sly and Fee told me the story of what Dragon Age the Veilguard was, because I have no fucking clue. And I thank you for all of that wrapped up in one. That was the best. I'm going to play.
Mine was a Diablo, Vessel of the Hatred.
Yeah, but then you talked about Targaryens, and I'm like, you must be talking about Dragon Age at this point.
I'm not talking about Dragon Age.
I know you're
I'm talking
not.
about Dragon
That's
Age
the
in my
joke. That's the joke.
life. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's so funny that he had to explain it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The jokes have to be funny.
Ugh.
I also want to say,
I hate
Sly,
you.
there's a game. Go watch the trailer for Winterboro and come back to us
Okay.
because there's a mouse that has a leaf for shoes.
His tail's too.
Leaf version?
His tail's.
Yeah.
Which one's this?
His-
Winterboro, all caps. All right, let's do this.
His tail looks too long. That's my only critique about it.
Mice can have long tails.
I know they do. He just looked kind of long. I don't know. The only other game I wanted to talk about real briefly was Expedition 33, just because I think the fucking premise is so cool for like a movie that I'm happy that it's a video game that I get to play. But it basically, there is this great evil that is, painting away the world or destroying the world in every year. And then they keep sending in an expedition team to go and try and stop it. And there only can do 33 left. And this is the 33rd time. And it looks awesome. It basically looks like Persona, but like in the Unreal 5 engine. Like it looks insane.
As an artist, I love this. I feel like sometimes this is me playing Lethal Company with everyone, where I just constantly am killing everyone, and they're just like, she must be stopped. This is essentially like I resonate with it. Also, I just like the fact that one of the quotes in it was, "May she not paint death again." Because that's the entire premise, is she constantly is painting a picture of death, and whenever she completes it, people die. Essentially Thanosing out of existence, which looks phenomenal. I'm so excited for this game. It's coming to Game Pass. Like Sandfall Interactive and Kepler, which, by the way, this is Sandfall's first fucking game. Just
fucking A.
Just come out in like left field. Yeah, Sly is currently, for people who are watching, they are currently reacting to Winterboro. But yeah, I'm in love with Expedition 33. And honestly, like that game, and then also one that came out later in the showcase also stood out to me, which was the Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Mostly, like, I'm not a huge person when it comes to Souls-like games, but the fact that one of the quotes in the trailer was, "You don't know that you're the monster until someone comes to slay you," which was absolutely phenomenal. So you find out, like, from what we've seen is that she is becoming one of the monsters, and she's fighting it off by essentially going through and killing off these other demons. So it looks really cool. The premise looks really interesting. I'm not usually a Souls-like person, but I will definitely be checking this one out because it seems like the premise is very cool. We don't know much else other than what we saw in the trailer, so I'm only bringing assumptions, but it did seem like she was being essentially consumed by something, which is probably why we see the Fallen Feathers is the title. Mind you, all of us got confused because we thought Nothing Is Forever was the title of it.
Same.
And then they're like, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers.
So much of a better title. Let's be real here.
I mean, I don't know.
Really, you think Wu Chang is better than
It's probably their name.
I don't care. It's still No One Lives Forever is still a better title.
Nothing Is Forever sounds like a
Nothing
song from a James Bond movie.
Yeah,
and then
that's
they
why
just
it
like
sounds so good.
And then they bring out Adele, and then she starts singing out "Nothing Is Forever," and then it's just like,
Wu Chang is a RP group in No Pixel. That's like it doesn't
Oh
sound
my
right.
Lord. The only last two major things I just want to bring about the whole weekend, the whole thing at all. Publishers, specifically game devs becoming publishers or supporting other different devs. I want to talk about Blumhouse Games, which holy fucking shit, that was my like breakout thing because I wanted to play all of them. Essentially, Blumhouse, who is famous for making low budget horror movies that make millions of dollars, right? They usually have smaller budgets, but then the movies themselves blow up. They are doing game publishing where they seek out specifically indie devs that they think that fits their vibe and then helps them out and then allows them to obviously gain profit, but also helps the devs to get their game out there on a much bigger platform than it would be individually, which I do find a fascinating business model. But like the games that they showed were really fucking cool. Specifically, my game that I'm very excited about is Project C, which is a Sam Barlow game. They did Immortality, which was one of my favorite games and one of my favorite games I think I've ever played. And then they also did Her Story and Telling Lies, which are phenomenal games. So I'm excited for them to be this horror title for Project C. And then just the fact that they're producing all these other or helping make these other indies. There's one indie, I think it's the Spotlight game, where it was already out and then they took it off the market, gave them more money to make a better game, and now they're coming relaunching it because of that. Like it was a good enough presentation, but they thought like, what if you could do if you had more, and then allow them to actually build out their vision. So I'm super excited about that. And then Inner Sloth is creating something called Outer Sloth, which is, hey, you made our game successful. We're going to try and make other games successful. So then they're going to have their branding of like giving them potentially help to then make their game, feasible and for it to exist. One of the games that I'm excited for is a game called Dosa or Project Dosa. They're by the people that did Thirsty Suitors, which I played last year. And that game was fucking a banger as well. So I'm super excited of just these other, yes.
So I was on Steam and I was wishlisting Project C, and then it said more from Sam Barlow, and it was like all of these games that have been on my wish list forever. And then the last one was Project D.
Yes, there's another.
What is this? Do we know about
We
this?
don't know anything about that one yet. He has Project C and D that are in co-development, basically. So he's got a bunch of fingers and pies. So we'll figure that out as we didn't even see anything for Project C in the trailer other than it announced that it was happening. So we'll
Love that.
So that was awesome.
Both of the like about the games are like heavily redacted. I love that. That means you can change it to whatever the fuck you want. You take a completely different direction with this game, nobody's gonna know. Brilliant.
No one's gonna know. But yeah, those are the two big things that I was super like, wow, this made me happy. And I'm happy that they both happened in SGF. SGF was actually a super solid show overall, but I'm happy that those two things happened.
Yeah, it was an 8 out of 10. I give him that. He said it was an 8 out of 10. I kind of agree with it.
yeah, no, I agree.
Shit that he set the expectations like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's smart. Smart man.
yeah, I definitely agree that them coming out with Blumhouse games and then the fact that they're all going to be intertwined in some capacity or connected in some way. And the one that they showed off first, which was the Fear the Spotlight, looks fucking insane. It gives me a lot of like Inscription vibes, especially when they had the Ouija board on the table. And then she says like, oh, everything's gonna be fine, nothing's gonna happen to us, and then of course certain things happen instantaneously after. Also, I'm gonna talk about my upcoming game of the year farming simulator, which is Grave Seasons. Grave Seasons is a dating sim with farming aspects, and all the people hot as hell. Everyone in that town hot, 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 hot. And then guess what? One of them's a psychotic murderer and keeps killing people. But can, like, honestly, if I choose the person who's the murderer, by all means, I will accept it. I will be
That's love.
exactly fully here for it. No, I'm so excited for this game. And also there was just a tweet that I retweeted during that weekend, and it was so good because it was just like, oh, like, what are you supposed to be, like, the entire premise is like, this little bean is just like, hey, Grave Seasons, what kind of game are you? And they're like, farming sim. And then they're like, are you really? And then this little gremlin has blood all over him, and it's just like this corpse in the background, and I'm like, yes. And I'm like, I'm so excited for this game. So, oh my god, I'm gonna be living just like I joined the Discord. I need more information associated with Perfect Garbage, which, like, shout out to the name of that, by the way. It's just, it looks so good. It's oh my god, it doesn't have like a freaking announcement. It doesn't have a date. It doesn't have any information, but I'm here for it, and I need this murderous farming sim because it's just right up my alley.
Yeah, Blumhouse Games
good.
and all their associations really stepped it up. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and they could have come up with, like, really not so great games, and they could have just been like, almost like, we're the corporate wheel and we're just looking to, like, grind out money, but instead they're like, here's some fucking awesome indie games and, like, studios that were, like, funding to make these games associated. And I would love to see some of these games maybe, like, bleed into the movies that they make. Like, seeing maybe something like, maybe
A
like a
Grave
Grave
Seasons movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fear the Spotlight movie. Yeah, I could see that.
Or, like, having, like, even in the background of one of their movies where they see, like, on the television, like, maybe, like, a trailer for a game that might be coming out in the future. I think this is a really great opportunity to kind of, like, go back and forth. So 10 out of 10. Like, shout out to them. I will admit, I was not aware of Blumhouse until that day, and now they've become one of my favorites. So 10 out of 10. Shout out.
For the people that brought you Paranormal Activity, here are all these video games.
I've never seen one of the Paranormal Activity movies.
No, that's fine. I'm just happy that the people that did that are now doing this, and now I'm just in embarrassment of riches. So
Yeah. Sweet.
So that was a lot of video games. Bless you. Bless you. For the audience,
Thank
if you're not
you.
realizing, Fia's sneezing, but muted the sound. But
Yeah, because I'm gonna be full honest. If I sneezed without my microphone muted, all of you would have, no offense, like, y'all would have become deaf. Every single one of you, all of you, plus our
My ears
listeners, everyone would
ruptured.
become deaf. Sly would
At
be.
least
I love
mine. At least
being
'cause
deaf.
I'm wearing in-ear monitors, so that shit's going straight into my fucking noggin.
Yeah, no, it would be death for everyone. There would be blood coming out of ears. It would just be ice. I have a deviated septum and horrendous, like, nasal passage. It's just terrible. Absolutely it echoed the other day when we were leaving the apartment building.
Your nose echoed.
No, I sneezed underneath, like, the pagoda, or, like, I guess, like, and I sneezed, and it sounded so loud that it echoed on the building next door. And I'm like, I'm going to not only kill myself, but I'm also going to apparently. Who needs an alarm? I can just go out at 9 a.m. in the morning and just sneeze. What?
I just thought of the idea of you sneezing, and then for some reason you go, "Phew," but then, like, the echo sound is sail away, sail away. Sail away.
Just Anya, just like.
There's some reason that cracked me up.
What is Orinoco Flow coming out right now? What the hell?
I don't know why that cracks me up. Oh, it's so funny.
My God.
Oh my God.
Badass song. Go check that song out if you haven't. It's literally like 30 years old, but go check it out.
Or it's on a CD collection that was like at the end of Comedy Central, that they'll play those trailers at the end of After 12 o'clock, or Girls Gone Wild. It was one of those two. Frank should understand that reference. Frank, I did want to talk to you because
What's up?
you are a sensation on one of the biggest platforms out there, and I want to know about your newfound success. I want to talk about it. What's going on with you, fan?
So I've said this before on the podcast. I just randomly post clips on TikTok. Usually of just like freak nasty shit that I do in video games. And or just funny stuff. If I find something, if something happens to me that's actually kind of funny, I usually just like kind of clip it and post it. W- just a little bit of preamble for this. For the last like 2 weeks, I've been bitching about an issue on TikTok.
You have, which is
And-
hilarious.
And that is none of my videos are doing any numbers. And I'm sitting here like I used to at least get like 100, 200, maybe even 500. I think my best video at the time was like 13K, right? And I would post videos and I would get like maybe like 10, 20 people. And then with me, Harv, a few of my friends were always just like, yeah, something with the TikTok algorithm. Because even this would happen even on Pip. Like our TikTok on Pip is just like, it just doesn't seem like the algorithm is pushing it out, even with like good tags, even with like, good, like a good amount of likes and stuff like that. So I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to even fucking post a TikTok or like, fuck this shit, right? So I started posting to YouTube. And on YouTube, my clips and stuff have been doing pretty decent. They've been getting like 10 to maybe 20,000 people per short, and it's been pretty nice. I got a good little like 10 subscriber boost since keep in mind this has been like a week. So I like damn pretty good, right? So then I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start posting TikTok. I'll post them in tandem. I'll post the same clip on YouTube, same clip on TikTok. Fuck it, right? So I got high as balls one day, and I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, and I got a clip of somebody shooting his teammate in the back of his head after I fucking flashed him with a blitz shield, and I posted it to TikTok, and within like minutes it felt a little bit different because the algorithm just pushed it like to people,
Yes.
and people liked it, people commented, and then people like reposted it, people bookmarked it, and it kept going and going and going and going, and we currently are actually, hold on, I'll pull up the video real quick because I don't know the metrics of the other stuff, but with just that video, just random video, like I didn't do anything different than I usually do. Same tags I always put, same everything, right? 1.5 million views, 192,000 likes, over 1,000 comments, 20,000 bookmarks, and it doesn't show reposts, so I don't know how many people reposted, but holy shit.
Yeah, 1.5 million views on this clip, which is
Within a week.
Which is
It hasn't even been a week yet.
That's big. And then I was like watching the video, I'm like, what is making this pop? Mario, I got a message from Fee. Mario, why the fuck are you on TikTok right now? We're talking about TikTok. Mostly because I wanted to see like the comments because I wanted to read them. I haven't read any of them yet. But what I wanted to say was like I watched the video and I'm like, yeah, I understand why this one popped off because you popped the fuck off in this video. You go in John Wick style. When you go behind him at one moment and you just execute a style.
You're talking about the second one.
That's the second one? There's two?
No. The one that's 1.5 million, what happened was I was high as shit. Keep in mind, I was blasted on weed when I was playing that one. I blasted somebody with a shield, right? And when you hit them, they're flashed. Their screen is white. So this dude's running away, and I'm missing like every shot because I'm stoned. I can't fucking aim for shit when I'm stoned.
Okay.
But while he's blind, he accidentally leaves, comes back, and his teammate's shooting at me. And he does a little spin and accidentally just guns his teammate down and like shoots his teammate as he's like blind still. Which everybody thought was fucking hilarious. I think it's because it's short. The comedy punchline is like within like 6 seconds.
Sure.
It's easily digestible, and you can like have this on repeat over and over again. So I think honestly that's probably why it popped off.
I want you to repost it, but at the end add
It's the Vine effect.
it is the Vine effect. Yeah. I was gonna say at the end, just add this is holy shit, it's Jason Bourne because holy shit, you popped the fuck off. So then the second one's a 93.
so then yeah, I since then I've been posting every day now. So like at 7 a.m. I throw a few
got
clip
you.
some up. The second one was hilarious about that one is I was telling my friends after we hit like the guys I'm playing Siege with, after that one hit like over 1 million, I was just like, no way we're gonna be able to replicate that because that's like, you know, lightning in a bottle. It obviously is.
Yeah.
And then my friend's like, yeah, your next video is gonna do like really fucking good. Watch. And I'm like, yeah, shut up. And that's the one. That one's almost at 100K. So it's been really cool. I waking up every day and seeing 99 plus notifications and then just like
Yeah.
responding to comments, people asking questions, people DMing me. I think the funniest thing that happened was when that video, when the 1 million video hit like, I want to say maybe less than 100K. No, hit over 100K at that point. The people in the video, like the people who like team killed each other, found the video.
Ah.
These random people I played Siege with found, like, we're watching TikTok, saw them, like, just imagine that they saw themselves. They're like, wait, hold on a second. And the DM'd me was like, these are the usernames, because I don't get people's usernames out if I can allow it, right? If it like accidentally shows up on like a scoreboard, I can't really do much about that. But luckily the scoreboard's so far off to the right on the screen on Siege that when I squish the video a little bit, you don't see the names anyway. But they said their names, and I was like, yeah, those are 100% the names like of those two people. So shout out to them because they posted a video of their DMs and of the DMs in Discord, and then it's them just being like, "Holy shit, we got fucking caught."
Can you imagine just finding a video of your ass beating on the internet?
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh my god, there it is.
But yeah, dude, it's been really cool. We're now at a ton of followers. I mean, I was at before that video, I was at like 70 followers. No, actually, yeah, around 70 followers and like less than 4,000 likes. Like we're at 690 followers and over 200,000 likes.
Yeah.
So I am very happy. Even if I'm happy to get, honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck here. I drop clips like this just because, not to like toot my own horn or anything like that. I do it just because I like showing off like good gameplay, and I do it for fun. You know what I mean? If I get 1 to 10 views, I really don't care because it's not, you know, that's what I expect, right? 1,000 to me is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? And 1 million is just like out of my fucking realm. Like, holy shit! Like, I was like, there's no way this gets to 100K. There's no way this gets to 500. There's no way this gets to a fucking million. We're at 1.5 now.
Yeah.
So shout out to the TikTok community, man. At least the Rainbow Six part of it, because you guys elevated me up there, and they keep fucking. I keep seeing comments on there of adding. I don't know if you guys know who Jinxie is, but he's basically the biggest R6 streamer right now. He's like usually on Twitch, he's usually doing like 60 to like 100,000 views for Rainbow Six, right?
Yeah.
They keep adding him, and I'm just like, I don't want Jinxie to see this. I missed all those shots in that footage, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't want it. I want to get caught in 4K like that. But yeah, no. It's been really good. I'm having a blast. I'm still gonna be uploading daily now on it. It's gonna be my primary platform for right now because YouTube's hit and miss. Sometimes I was doing really good at first because it was getting like 10, 15, 20K views on some of the videos. I think it's a timing thing because I'll post something and it'll be like 500, and then I'll post another thing and it'll be like 10,000. And I'm like, I don't understand. So I got to figure out the timing on YouTube. But for right now, TikTok's back, man. TikTok is back for me. So follow me on TikTok at @TheFrankGB.
Yeah, as Baird in the Hair in the chat says, does Frank have his TikTok in the background? Yes, he does.
Yes.
So please increase that number. Of course, it's no longer 660, but it's at 690, which is pretty good.
I was like 666 followers is kind of hard. I kind of wanted to stay there.
You're at 690 right now. That's pretty funny. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
I also had something doing numbers recently.
Yeah, what was that?
So last night I got to attend the Storm versus Sparks basketball game. It
Okay.
was great. I was in a suite. I had suite tickets. Very fancy. I felt super bougie. It was really great. But one of my posts that I made during the game is currently sitting at 1.2K views and 111 likes on Threads. So, those are big numbers with Threads.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was super fun. I got to see my favorite player is no longer on the Storm and is currently playing for the Sparks. And I got to see her play for like, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes. And then she spent the rest of the game on the bench with the knee brace on. And I really hope it was preventative and not a re-injury. We're just really hoping she stays healthy because, obviously I don't wish injury on anybody, but I especially don't wish injury on my faves. So that was a little sad, but other than that, the game was really fun. And y'all, God, of all the seasons to be a women's basketball fan, this is one of the great ones. Like, ignoring all like the drama and the commentary and the people who don't know anything, who desperately need to learn the art of shutting the fuck up. Like, if you just like look at the games and like the incredible games we get to see played, it's just so good, y'all. There's some great stuff going on in this league.
Very cool. Fee, is there any last thing before we take it away? Anything you want to fill us in? Because I know we haven't spoke to you for a hot second. You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay. Well, you can. I don't know. Am I doing shoutouts for my own stuff right now? Am I gonna be talking about the Game Fest? What are we talking about?
Well, no, just if you had anything else
What's the
to
last
share.
thing you watched?
Yeah, what's the last thing you watched?
Oh, last thing I watched. That's a good question. I haven't really been watching anything recently. I've just been watching Twitch streams, I guess. And then just watching Mind Meld. I did watch the first 2 episodes of Acolyte, and I've heard the third one is horrendous, which is apparently rating lower than the 1970s Star Wars Christmas movie. So
That movie
Yeah,
slaps.
that one's crazy because I've never Star Wars has always been kind of divided in terms of its opinions on it. I've never seen everybody be so universally like, yeah, this is dog shit.
I watched it. I watched it, and I was just like, all right, cool. I guess this is the direction we're going. And then I looked at Twitter, and I was just like, oh, fuck, people
Everybody hated
hates
you know how,
this.
Fallout. You know how Fallout, if you do something bad, it's like everybody hated that.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking crazy. Like there's the group of people that I saw that are like, oh yeah, it's a great episode, and then that ended immediately, and it was everybody hated. Honestly, it was okay, but like not the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. So that's why I'm just
Well,
like,
I think it's more the implication on the lore.
there's no
That's
implication. That's something that's been established already. So that's why I'm like, well, all right, fine. All right.
I think one of the issues is, and I watched a TikTok recently, and I apologize to the TikToker who I got this information from, but there's essentially a recent convention where someone asked George Lucas about the female leads in the movies and the fact of the how much empowerment that the women have and what they can do in the series, and he said it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it doesn't matter what the characters are doing. Princess Leia did it in a dress and also in other garb. We had obviously Queen Amidala, who was dressed in full regal outfit, and she was able to do so much in her. So just putting a person or a woman in pants doesn't automatically make her a heroine. And I think in this particular case, I understand where people are getting frustrated is because they take this idea of the Force and then that people should be mad about this. No, because I feel and hear me out, guys, there's hundreds of thousands of planets in the galaxy, and this is one planet that treated the Force in this particular way. We've seen the Force being used in multiple different aspects, and some people who don't even consider themselves as Jedi, or people consider themselves as like a Darth, or specifically like a Dark Lord. They are people that are Force sensitive who do not follow the guidelines of the Jedi like manuscript, and as well when it comes to the dark side, it's a different way. They treat it differently,
Like
and
religion,
I think it was a
Like-
very interesting.
Like
Yeah,
the spin-offs, the different iterations of religions.
so which shocker. Not gonna tell you guys, but this is
basically,
like, it kind of almost gave, and this kind of goes back to the fact that Star Wars is so influenced by things like Dune, because what we just saw was the Bene Gesserits.
Yeah,
That's all we saw.
it is.
We legitimately,
It
it's the fucking Bene Gesserits, and I don't know why people are upset about this, because
That's
I'm like,
the fucking Bene Gesserits. Oh, that's so funny. So I'm watching the whole episode. It's like, oh, we're witches. I'm like, oh, it's like the Dathomir people, and I'm like, obviously we're not spoiling. I'm not trying to spoil, but when it came to like the thing that I think that everyone's mostly mad about, I'm like, man, did you remember episode 1? They literally just like, oh, that happened? Fucking A. All right, cool. We're just gonna keep going. Like, it's not a big fucking deal.
I think it's because of Star Wars. Star Wars is like innate, like always like, having to explain things that don't really need to be explained anymore. Like, I don't need to know how Han Solo got his
Fucking A,
his
man.
Millennium Falcon. I don't need to know if the Force is this or that. I kind of just want to see. I just want to see people fight with fucking lightsabers. That's all I really care about. That's why I don't watch Star Wars anymore, because they don't even do that anymore.
I think it's cool to be able to see how people take the Force in different ways. Like, in this particular group, of course, this is kind of going into spoiler territory, but it is a group of women who use the Force in different ways and not just using a lightsaber. And so everyone's like, whoa, this is incorrect. And I'm just like, okay, do I think some of the things were a little quirky? Sure. Have I seen the episode? No. But I've seen a lot of clips because y'all love fucking posting shit the day of.
Dude.
So, like, it's so ridiculous where people are like, this couldn't have happened. And I'm like, there is hundreds of millions of planets.
My favorite.
And this is one.
Oh god, go ahead, continue.
No. I think it's very idiotic to think that the Force is treated the exact same way on every single planet. There are planets that no one's interacted with. Like, that's kind of why, like, in some capacity, I kind of enjoy things like Star Trek a little bit more, because at least they recognize the fact that there's different peoples on different planets, and then everything's not so like orbiting around this idea of like things like the Federation. It's just in this case, yes, there is a lot of things about the Confederation, like the Federation, when it comes to Star Trek, but it's the same point. There's like a lot of like going back and like a lot of like fighting against it, especially with the later like iterations in the later series, because we're seeing that a lot with things like Picard, and we saw that a lot with things like Discovery, and we've seen this a lot with like a lot of the newer, like even the newer ones that are technically prequels to series. I digress. I think it's just really silly to get this upset about something, because they're like, whoa, we think this is like campy and blah blah blah, and I'm like, this is.
I think it's crazy how just like even the media outlets are usually just like will like pass over this kind of stuff and stuff like that. Everybody seems to hate this episode. Like, it's not even just seems like it's just that one thing. It just seems like nobody's really.
My thing is,
Alkalite so far.
I went into like critics like loving this one, and I was just like, okay.
Because even Forbes of all people is just like, yeah, no, this episode's.
But like Matt Rohrbeck, and I'm just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, it's a game changer. It's a crazy ass episode, and I'm like, yeah, it's a crazy episode, but also I just thought it was fine. Like, it didn't blow my skirt up at all. I just thought that, all right, cool. Things in Star Wars happen in cycles all the time. That's why there's 3 different fucking trilogies, and they all do the same fucking thing. So the fact that it happens here again, it is what it is. But my main thing, the one thing that made me so fucking annoyed was there was some smart ass motherfucker that was like, oh, there's no fire in space in Star Wars. It's fucking dumb, right? And then DJ Kento made a fucking great video where it's like, oh yeah, there's no fucking fire in Star Wars. Let me just go ahead and load up episode fucking 1. And basically there's fucking fire showing up in Star Wars. So that's why I'm just like, shut the fuck up and just watch the show or don't. That's all. That's all I have to say about it. Just shut the fuck up or don't.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, indeed. More people need to learn the art of shutting the fuck up. I said
I
that
agree.
5 minutes ago. I stand by
agree.
it.
Some people just need to shut the fuck up. Some people, your opinions are stupid, and I don't want to hear them. Honestly.
I mean,
And
at
that's
the end
why
of the
I just use the mute button on Twitter. If you say something stupid, I'm just muting you. I'm not even gonna block you.
Ugh. Fucking
What were you
idiots.
saying, Faith? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, make up your own fucking opinion on Acolyte. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't fucking care. I'm watching it. If I don't like it, then I'll just fucking not like it. I don't know.
Yeah. I stopped watching Star Wars anyway, so I really don't care.
Okay,
I
you
only
know
really
what
care
I have
about
been
Mandalorian.
watching? You know what? You know what I have been watching? I've been watching Drag Race All Stars, guys.
Nice.
And this has been a crazy season because it's all about charity. Instead of doing stuff themselves, they're trying to raise money for specific groups. We have got Mick, who's raising money for the trans helpline. We have a number of other particular participants who are like, each one of them is trying to raise money for a different charity, of course. And this season is just mind-boggling. Like, I don't know. It's like also, it's like fantastic, and at the same time, probably like one of my least favorite seasons. I don't know why. It's just too much is going on. There's only 8 queens this season. None of them are getting eliminated. All they're doing is they're just like lip syncing for the win and stuff like that. Plastique Tiara, God forbid, is like ethereal. If you go and look up Plastique Tiara right now, good luck, because she is insanely stunning, and just a phenomenal drag queen, and 10 out of 10. Freaking blows everyone else out of the water, but I digress. It's just, I don't know. It's very interesting to know that like there are things that I watch that you guys are very aware of, and then other things that you guys are like, I have no capacity to like in regards, or like any comments in regards to that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just been that. And then of course we have Jin back from BTS. Congratulations, Jin, from finishing up your military service. You're the first person to get out. It was wild yesterday. They live streamed him leaving the actual military base in like 30 different angles. There was 20 security guards there. I'm not even joking. There was like so many different media outlets with cameras, and then they replayed it for hours afterwards. And it's just him walking out, and then the other members, except for Yoongi, because Yoongi's like, nah, I'm playing up the fact that you guys are not going to see me in public until 2025. And then it's just like Namjoon came out with a fucking like bass saxophone and was playing Dynamite and was just jamming and living his best life while everyone was giving him a hug, and then they went into vehicles and drove off, and that was it. And they played that for hours.
And then they never saw him again.
Exactly. Hours. I like the fact that I started talking about BTS and then Harv hops in.
He's just gonna say butter. Watch.
That would be really funny if I just said butter and then left.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 100. Here we are.
No, I wanted you to finish, Fia. I want you to finish.
No, I'm just saying, I'm really excited. They have Fiesta today. Jin is hugging 1,000 fans today, guys. He is standing and he's
So many
giving
fans.
Yeah, because they had an entire contest. People are flying from all around the world to get one hug from Jin. It's
Are you flying
absolutely
over
nuts. No, because I did not get one of the.
Do they have
tickets?
COVID
Fucking
checks? Do they've been
I don't
tested?
think they need that anymore. I don't think we need that anymore.
I'm
What
just
is
I said, man. I mean, I guess
I think we do that still. Yeah.
No, I mean,
it's
like, COVID
off and off
checks?
here.
I mean, I would
What
recommend.
checks?
I'm
Oh,
just
COVID
saying.
checks?
I'm saying they should
COVID.
should
the
do
global pandemic.
because Kyle sadly got it from SGF and some other people as well. So I'm just like thinking that like
It's
a guy's,
every conference at this point.
but I mean, it's like
someone's catching COVID.
it's like, God damn, you're asking for it if you want 1,000 hugs.
No.
Even so, I've actually been listening to music myself. I have been celebrating Pride Month by listening to the one and only Chempel Ronan. So, which I don't even think I said the name correctly. I'm just saying it how I think it's spelled. Is it Chappelle?
It's Chapel Roan.
Chapel?
It's Chapel Roan.
Chapel Roan. I listened to that whole album. It's my favorite album to go to sleep
Chappelle?
to.
You know why you said Chappelle? Because
It
of
looks
Chappelle's
like
show.
Chappelle Show. It does look like Chappelle Show, which I don't want that in the same sentence, but there it is. But yeah, it's a great album. Real fucking good. Who the fuck is this person? Came out of literally nowhere.
No, they've been on TikTok forever.
Marissa Longo, one of my co-hosts on We'll Throw the After Party, has been talking about Chapel Road for at least over a year. So you know they've been around.
God,
I've been
Yeah, how do you
following
not
them.
know about Chapel Roan, you big idiot?
fucking A, man. Guess I'm not gay enough.
Okay, well, I've been following them
Exactly.
since like
You're only
2020.
mainstream gay. How dare you?
That means everyone else here is super gay. But yeah, good shit. Good album. With that, I think it is close enough that we could say that we can end episode 99.5 of the Point.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah?
This is what I've been
shit.
watching. This is what I've been watching this week. Okay.
Oh my-
A lot of Minecraft. Okay.
Minecraft.
Because all my brother's kids are all into Minecraft
Okay, all right.
and Roblox, and it is the weirdest shit.
Yeah, I know.
I was a
It's the weirdest
Minecraft kid, Sharks Watch, like 12 years ago.
My nephew came up to me. He's like, "How do you craft a door in Minecraft?" I was like, "I have no idea.
How do you get the wood? How do you get the wood?
I don't know. I don't know how this game works." That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, thank you for interrupting me, you fuck. I hope you have a great trip. I hope you have
Somebody
a.
boot him.
I will.
I put a fun picture up on general.
Oh,
for
I'm
you guys.
gonna. Oh, very. Thank you so much for the treats. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Goodbye.
bye, Harv.
Later, man.
Harv, wait, are you there?
What's
left.
not a
Just
projector?
disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah,
And B-dubs?
you know.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
As I was saying, this is the end of the episode. Of course, this is episode 99.5, which really is, we're probably at like 100 and like what, 6 or something like that is what we're actually at theoretically.
Who knows?
Who knows? Thank you for joining us here on the Point in Progress podcast. Next week, hopefully, if everything else doesn't fucking fall apart, it will be episode 100 of this show, God willing. And we are all invited to hear all of the wonderful announcements and then the casual show that we'll have afterwards. And it's going to be fantastic. Of course, Fee will be there. And of course, Fee, where can people find you?
People can find me here. You can find me over on my Twitch channel where I have been very active recently and playing demos and doing some artwork. So definitely go check me out over there. Also, if you are not tired of me talking about Xbox, you should go check me out over on the Xbox Drive. This Friday, we're going to be talking about, you know what? You'll find out if you watch. So
Damn.
you'll come.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, or you can check out some of our other podcasts that we've done over the past few months. Also, I made some merch recently over there. It's called Poolside Bobby, where it's just Bobby hanging out by the pool in his little floaty. Really cute. So definitely go check that out. You can get a mug, you can get a t-shirt, you could get something. There's really cool tank tops that has a really cool coral color. But yeah, a lot of fun. Been really busy, really tired. Need some sleep. I just need to like have an extra day out of the week, just called like the 8th day, and I just sleep for 24 to 48 hours. That'd be great. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And then you'll also see there the one and only $1 million poppy, as I'm going to call him now. Frank, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at @TheFrankGV, where I talk shit about video games. You can find me at YouTube and TikTok at @TheFrankGV, where you can see me post my buck nasty clips.
Yeah.
Join the new revolution. And yeah, you can find me here at Point in Progress, where I chill with these lovely people every week, talk shit about video games.
Yeah. And then with that, of course, you're definitely possibly going to see Sly there. Sly, where can people find you on the net?
Hopefully. You can find me on Threads at SlycloneMC talking about gay shit and women's basketball and occasionally some hockey commentary on there. Yeah, that's about all I got. I've been reading book. Oh, you can find me on Thirsty Thursday. We're doing an episode tomorrow where JJ is forcing me to watch Hunter x Hunter, and I am forcing him to watch Siren Survive the Island. It's gonna be great. What else do I do? Oh, I'm gonna give a throwback shout out. Everybody go re-listen to or listen to the first time NC University. That show is great. I'm really proud of that. We did some great work there.
Definitely go ahead and re-listen to every episode of that show because we love that show very, very much. You can find me, of course, here at the Point in Progress podcast at the Point in Progress YouTube channel, but also I'm very excited about next week. There's some cool stuff happening now that we have an extra week to talk about it. There's some little details that I want to be able to fill in there, so we'll definitely do that. But otherwise, yes, you can find me at Twitter or X, wherever you want to call it, at that Mario Rivera. And then that's the show. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I see you all having fun talking about fake Star Wars fans. Thank you so much for being there. Of course, we will all be together again next week for episode 100. I want to thank again everyone. Thank you guys. It's been fun. And with that, progress has been made.
Hell yeah.
Let's see if I can.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Enjoy the chat, everyone. There's like